These 10 horror movies don't just scare you, they pull the rug out from under you. From slow-burning mysteries to nerve-shattering finales, each of these films ends with a jaw-dropping twist you won't see coming. Brace yourself, because these shocking endings will haunt you long after the credits roll. Number 10. Time Crimes. In a quiet countryside, time itself becomes the predator. Time Crimes unravels the story of Hector, an ordinary man whose curiosity lures him into a chain of events he cannot undo. Directed by Nacho Vigalondo, this Spanish sci-fi horror thriller begins with a glimpse of a mysterious figure wrapped in bandages and spirals into a relentless loop of paranoia and fatal missteps. As Hector stumbles into a time machine, each choice tangles into the next, creating clones of himself, each one more desperate and dangerous. The terror here is cold and surgical, where destiny isn't just predetermined, it's self-inflicted. Watching Hector chase his own shadow, becoming the very horror he's fleeing, reveals a chilling truth. The scariest monster might be the choices we've already made. Number 9. Final Prayer.
In nomine Patris et Filii.
God. They kill kids. Look at Mandeville.
When a team of Vatican investigators is dispatched to a remote English church to validate claims of a miracle, they find something far older and far darker than divine intervention. Directed by Elliot Goldner, the film creeps slowly, its unease building with every distant chant and flickering light. As the team descends into the bowels of the ancient chapel, skepticism gives way to primal terror. Rituals long buried awaken with rage, and faith is tested not by demons but by something older than Scripture. What waits beneath the altar is not salvation, but a final, suffocating answer that no prayer can escape. Number 8. The Vanishing.
Cherche ma femme. Elle venait acheter une bière et un coca. Et elle a des cheveux roux avec des petites...
Vous vous arrêtez dans la première station-service qui vous tombe sous la main. Vous trouverez des centaines de femmes.
Along a sunlit highway in France, a woman vanishes without a trace, and what follows is a descent into obsession that ends in suffocating silence. The Vanishing, directed by George Sluizer, is a Dutch psychological horror that strips away theatrics to expose pure dread. When Saskia disappears at a gas station, her boyfriend Rex spends years unraveling the mystery, unaware that the evil he's chasing is far more methodical and far more human than he imagines. The horror unfolds not in screams but in calm conversation and chilling stillness. Each step toward the truth tightens a noose around Rex's sanity, leading to a finale so quiet, so cruel, it feels like being buried alive in inevitability. Evil here wears a smile and keeps meticulous notes, waiting for the moment your curiosity digs your grave. Number 7. The Mist. A thick, unnatural fog rolls over a small town, and inside it, nightmares hunt in silence. The Mist, directed by Frank Darabont and adapted from Stephen King's novella, traps a group of survivors inside a supermarket as unspeakable creatures lurk just beyond the glass. But the true terror doesn't come from the mist. It grows within, festering in fear, hysteria, and blind faith. As the monsters claw at the windows, paranoia devours civility, and neighbor turns against neighbor. Every decision becomes a gamble with death, and the line between survival and savagery blurs. In the end, it's not the beasts outside that leave the deepest scars, but the haunting choices made when all hope vanishes in the fog. Number 6. Funny Games.
Wow, that's a really great set of clubs.
Mr. Farber.
What?
Keep me safe all through the night.
A peaceful lakeside retreat becomes a stage for sadistic theater and funny games, a chilling home invasion nightmare directed by Michael Haneke. When two polite young men arrive at a family's vacation home, their white gloves and soft voices mask an unrelenting appetite for cruelty. What begins with uncomfortable questions soon spirals into a game of psychological torture, where every rule is rigged and every plea for mercy becomes part of the performance. Haneke shatters the fourth wall and the viewer's comfort, forcing us to watch, not as spectators but as unwilling accomplices. The violence isn't chaotic, it's calculated, stripped of music, and filmed with a sterile lens that makes each scream echo longer. Number 5. The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
And I don't understand why I should have to pay the price, why my children should have to pay the price.
In a sterile world of wealth and precision, one family's perfect life begins to rot from within. Directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, the movie drips with icy dread as cardiac surgeon Stephen Murphy is confronted by a soft-spoken teenager named Martin, whose polite demeanor conceals a supernatural curse. As Stephen's children fall mysteriously ill, the rules of justice and punishment unravel into something ancient, ritualistic, and merciless. The film's dialogue is hauntingly flat, its silence is crushing, and every clinical frame pulses with looming catastrophe. With no clear villain, no screams of rage, and no escape, the horror crawls forward, slow, inevitable, godlike. Number 4, Eden Lake.
Is it wolf? Is it wolf? Fucking you don't know. That's fucking wolf.
What begins as a romantic weekend in the woods turns into a brutal fight for survival in Eden Lake, a relentless descent into human savagery directed by James Watkins. When Jenny and Steve arrive at a quiet lake to relax, they cross paths with a gang of local youths whose cruelty escalates with shocking speed. The forest becomes a hunting ground, the trees witnesses to escalating torment as civility is stripped away by primal fear and blind rage. Watkins crafts horror not from monsters, but from the terrifying ease with which ordinary people inflict pain. There's no grand evil, just raw violence and the suffocating realization that help is miles away, and mercy is not part of the game. Number 3, Inside. On Christmas Eve, the silence of grief is shattered by the sharp edge of obsession in Inside, a relentless French horror film directed by Alexandre Bustillo. Pregnant and recently widowed, Sarah prepares for a quiet night alone, until a mysterious woman knocks at her door, demanding entrance and her unborn child. What follows is a night soaked in blood and claustrophobic dread. As the intruder turns the home into a womb of violence, every room becomes a battlefield, every sound a signal of something worse coming. The film spares nothing. Its brutality is surgical, its tension unbearable, and its intimacy unflinching. There are no heroes, no happy endings, only the sharp cry of new life born in absolute darkness. Number 2, Saint Maud.
Let's go. Let's go.
In the dim corners of a seaside town, faith becomes a fever that burns through flesh and soul. Saint Maud, directed by Rose Glass, follows Maud, a reclusive hospice nurse who believes she's been chosen to save the soul of her terminally ill patient. But as Maud's devotion deepens, her piety twists into delusion, and the whispers she hears become commands no one else can hear. The film moves like a prayer unraveling, quiet, solemn, yet trembling with unseen menace. Each moment pulses with religious dread, blending body horror and psychological torment in a slow spiral toward madness. The line between divine ecstasy and psychotic collapse disappears in a flicker of flame and a scream swallowed by silence. Number 1, Speak No Evil.
Friendly?
Why are you doing this?
Courtesy becomes a coffin in Speak No Evil, a Danish psychological nightmare directed by Christian Taftrup. What begins as a friendly invitation turns sinister when a Danish couple visits a family they met on holiday, only to find that politeness masks something far more dangerous. The tension simmers in every awkward smile, every small transgression that's quietly ignored. As boundaries are pushed and civility is weaponized, the hosts reveal themselves to be anything but harmless. The true terror of the film isn't in what's done, but in how long it takes to say no, to run, to scream. With a climax as devastating as it is inevitable, Speak No Evil punishes its characters, and viewers for every moment of silence that let evil in. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp is a slasher soaked in summer camp nostalgia, until it veers into something far more unsettling. As campers are picked off one by one, the film builds to a final shot so disturbing it's seared into horror history forever. Angst. angst traps viewers inside the fevered mind of a recently released convict as he embarks on a brutal, senseless killing spree. Shot with dizzying camera work and unsettling intimacy, the film drags you through every manic breath and twitch of violence, making escape feel impossible. Martyrs. Martyrs begins as a revenge story and descends into a harrowing exploration of pain, transcendence, and the line between martyrdom and madness. What starts with bloodshed grows into a ritual of suffering as two women become pawns in a cult's pursuit of spiritual clarity through horror. Triangle. Triangle follows a group of friends who board a mysterious ocean liner after a yachting accident, only to find themselves trapped in a time loop of murder and madness. Reality bends and repeats as Jess, the protagonist, uncovers a chilling cycle she may have created herself.